In this video, I'm going to show you how to write bulletproof requirements as a business analyst so that you're able to deliver high quality requirements in your project in only 5 minutes. Furthermore, you will love the technique I'm going to show you, and I will also have a bonus tip for you in the end. Let's start right away. So when we are talking about bulletproof requirements, what is a requirement? For this video, let's say a requirement is a specification of what should be implemented. So they describe how the system should behave. Which criteria makes a requirement bulletproof? Let me list them and then I will explain you each one. A bulletproof requirement is atomic, complete, consistent, concise, feasible, unambiguous, understandable, testable, and prioritized. Atomic means the bulletproof requirement can stand on its own and it's not mixed with another requirement. Complete, as you might know, are there any gaps in this requirement from a logical perspective? Consistency is if you have multiple requirements, you want to make them consistent so they look kind of each other. Being concise is key because you don't want to have requirements which are so long you don't want to read them anymore. So be concise. Feasibility is this requirement even realistic? Is it possible? Unambiguous, this one is really tough. It's all about making your requirement clear and unambiguous. In the end, I will share a bonus tip for you how to make requirements unambiguous, so make sure to stick until the end. Understandable means if people can basically understand it, so your stakeholders. Testable is this requirement verifiable? Are you able to create a test case to verify if this requirement is implemented or not? And in the end, prioritized. Each requirement should have a value and therefore be prioritized in terms of how important it is or how unimportant it is. So after understanding what makes a requirement bulletproof, you also know there are various different kinds of requirements. So for example, we have user requirements or solution requirements. And each kind of a requirement has a template to write it down. For example, for user requirements, you probably are going to use user stories. And for solution requirements, you are going to use eventually the Gherkin format. In this video, I will dive a bit more deeper into the Gherkin format and also make some examples here for bulletproof requirements in Gherkin. How does Gherkin look like? Just as a user story format, the Gherkin one has also a format. Here it is, given a precondition, when a certain condition is met, then the system should behave in a certain way. Let me make an example. Given the user clicked on the buy button, when the transaction is successful, then the system shall notify the user fast. That is a requirement in Gherkin format. But is this requirement also bulletproof? It's not. It's not bulletproof. Why? First, this requirement is pretty ambiguous, don't you think? What does fast mean? What does notifying the user mean? What is notification? How does a notification look like? Is it a pop-up? Is it whatever is it? How long shall we see this notification? So it's ambiguous. Then is it testable? I don't think so. Fast is not testable. It's not quantifiable. So we need number, for example, 10 seconds or whatever. And the question, is it complete? No, we are not complete here, especially because of these two questions I've asked before. This requirement is not bulletproof. So how do we make a bulletproof requirement? Let me show you this one. Let's think again. There is a shop, there is a buy button, and when the user clicks this buy button, we want to notify the user that this order was placed successfully. So how do we write a bulletproof requirement for this activity? Again, the same given and when, like given the user clicked on the buy button, when the transaction is successful, then the system shall redirect the user on a blank website with the message, your order was placed successfully in the first line of the page within 2 seconds. Is this requirement now bulletproof? And yes, it is bulletproof. It fulfills all these criteria I've mentioned before. It's testable. It's unambiguous, right? So now people really know what needs to be done here. But as pointed out in the beginning, I have a bonus tip for you to make sure that requirements are unambiguous. Let me show you this one before you leave the video. So how do I make requirements unambiguous? You have to ask the important W questions. Who, how, where, what, and when. So who is doing something in this requirement? It's the customer who is buying or clicking the buy button. So you could also in the requirement mention the user, so the customer. How is this happening? Basically, we have a notification which is not disappearing. So that's the how. Where do we want to have this notification? It's the first line of the screen. What? What is the message in this case, your order was placed successfully. And when? Within 2 seconds. By answering all these W questions, the requirement is unambiguous and we have a bulletproof requirement. I hope that helps you out. Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye bye.